Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times and nonsense.
Yeah, she's right. Well, I mean, what can I say?
That's all this is.
It's going to be nonsense.
If you like the nonsense, stick around. And if this is your first time watching us, welcome, first of all. You can find us on a lot of different platforms, actually. So you can watch us on YouTube. And if you don't wish to watch us, you can find us in podcast format. Yes. Most everywhere except for Apple, which includes things like Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, and Audible. Which is a fun one that we forgot about for some reason.
I just never realized we were a part of it. But we are. We're on Audible. Yeah.
You can also find silly stuff on TikTok. So head over there, check it out. It'll give you an idea of what you're in for.
Also, you can join the discussion on Discord.
Yes.
So jump in and participate. Yeah. Or not. Just watch. It's fine.
We have a thriving community on TikTok full of really lovely people who are more than willing and ready to be of support to others. So come join the fun. It's a good time.
Quite.
Did we get it all?
We got all of it.
Oh my God. Oh, actually, friends, did you know that we have a website now? So you can go check that out at fantasticpains.com.
You might have to type it in the bar. We have too many results. It's a weird problem that we have.
Yeah, it's a good problem. I'll take it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So the website is live. We actually are just about ready to put out merch. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. We've got some Halloween type specials.
Yeah, we have drops. We're having merch drops. And they're not going to cost insane amounts. Thank God.
We're not going to go through a third-party site. It'll be you and me.
Mm-hmm. And I'll watch.
He'll be there too.
I'm a part of it, kind of.
Other people might also be there.
Who knows who will be there? I'll sign my shirts. How about that? I'll sign them for you.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can sign.
I don't know. Do you want us to do that?
If you want. I'll put paint on my hand and put a handprint on the back. That way you have my fingerprints and you can commit crimes.
In reverse.
Yes, reverse crime. Start doing reverse crime, everyone.
No! Your fingerprints, if they used them from the shirt, they would be in reverse. Right?
Well,
yeah. They would be mirrored.
Yeah.
It's your evil twin.
Dang it. Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, we're going to have special drops and we might even have a giveaway going on. So,
which would be great.
Check the website. Give us feedback too on what you think we could use or not.
We're growing and intentionally growing. So much new stuff to come.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think that it is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Indeed. Sorry, we're both a little head coldy. I don't know.
Just a bit.
We're playing is it MCAS or is it a head cold game?
And since it's both of us, it could be both.
Either or.
Yeah.
Could literally be one has one and the other, or we both have the same thing going on. Yeah. So, fun times. We never know if we're actually ill.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'll go first.
All right. You do that.
Number 1 on the agenda. Jen is still sick. She's been sick on and off for 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about her, but she's doing okay now.
Yeah. Well, and you made her take a
She did.
break.
She took a mental health day.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
She needs that.
Because she has a tendency to overdo it and not realize she's overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
She just gets to this point where she's like, why do I feel like shit? Like, you've been working 12-hour shifts for a week now, so maybe you should stop.
Open to close is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
And she's helping other stores too. She worked at a different store last night.
Yeah, this is what did you call it yesterday? It's like using her as the manager but not paying her as the manager.
Yeah, she's managing a bunch of sites for a guy who's managing several stores.
Yeah.
Is how it seems. I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but her manager is using her. I'll dox him, but don't attack him. But, if it had... No, I'm not going to do that.
There's a sign in the background.
No. Information scrolling throughout the entire thing. What else?
It's like the end of a Bob Ross painting.
I spent time with the kids a lot this week, which is really nice.
Yeah.
They kept asking, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. because I haven't had bro day in a while.
Yep.
And they really enjoy bro day.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. My kids like hanging out with me. I don't understand it.
It's kind of their favorite thing.
I know. And like Sophie's getting to the age where like that won't be cool. So I'm taking advantage. Like,
yeah.
Woo. And
She asked me about makeup yesterday, and I was like, no. Stay 7 forever.
no, she's 11.
It's not okay.
Yeah. Who let? And she's almost as tall as you. I noticed yesterday. I was like, oh my god,
she's so tall.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I saw her over this summer, I was like, you're getting taller every day. I swear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's a behemoth compared to her former self. She's a monster.
I know. Like just the beginning of the year, totally different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So, I had this moment with Rory that I thought was really adorable.
Oh my god.
He was hanging out with me yesterday morning, and we were chilling and just hanging out. And I told him in the morning, I was like, I'm probably gonna fall asleep a bunch. Don't worry about it. Just keep, I'll wake up or whatever. And I fell asleep, and I woke up to my hand. I was like, my hand is warm. What is this? And then I woke up, and he was holding my hand. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I just wanted to hold your hand. I was like, oh my god, dude. You're adorable. Stop.
He's the cutest.
Yeah.
The cutest.
It was so sweet.
He's just so cute. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts my heart. In a good way.
Yeah, right? Like, it's not like we're stealing his innocence.
I know.
He's still there. I say that, and yesterday, the non-cute anecdote I have for Rory, he has a friend whose last name is Cox.
Oh,
C-O-X.
no.
And he's at the age where he thinks that's hilarious. So he came in here, he's like, Dad, I can say Cox at school.
Cox.
And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, my friend's last name is Cox. I was like, that doesn't give you free reign to walk around school going, Cox, Cox, Cox. That's not going to fly, bro. And he was like, what do you mean? And so he sat here for like 30 minutes listening to the guys in Raid talking, and they are not child appropriate. And then I was like, you guys, my son's been listening this whole time, and it got fucking quiet.
Because they were like, oh my
Yeah, except for one of them. I think it was Yeti. Yeti got like more into it. He was like,
oh, no.
let's do this. Challenge accepted. So he learned some new words, and he kept dropping F-bombs, and I would just sit here and look at him like, you're going to be in trouble after this. You know that, right? And he was like, no, why would I get in trouble? And I'm like, he was like, oh shit. And he left. That was his not cute moment.
Well, and he's at that age where he's like, he's got to figure out where the boundaries all are.
Totally.
And so he's reorganizing his little brain and dumping all the stuff from before to make room for all the stuff coming in.
Yeah.
It's about
he's
that
at
time.
the reset.
Yeah.
And he's derpy,
like
he's at the
7-year
reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophie had it. He had it. We all had it.
Yeah.
Try and remember things from before you were 7. They're few and far between, I bet.
They are either trauma or core memories.
Yeah. They either make your personality or they make your personality.
I don't have a personality. I have trauma.
All right. And
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I didn't have anything else going on this week. I did a bunch of raids. I hung out with people. It was fun.
Good.
I streamed.
Yeah.
I've been streaming again. And I'm going to share it in Fantastic Pains when I do it, because certain people kind of yelled at me yesterday about not streaming.
Because he logged in on the wrong account.
Yeah, I accidentally logged into Fantastic Pains and did a 10-minute stream on accident. And people were not happy that I stopped it. So we will share it so that I can be in your ears during the day. I'm sorry, Crystal. It won't happen again.
He has been chastened.
And that was my week.
Well.
Oh, I don't want to talk about my knees. My knees suck more. They're constantly in pain, and straightening them hurts, and getting up hurts, and I have imaging next Friday. So that is progress.
Right.
And it's both. It's an X-ray and an MRI. I got him to order both.
Smart. So smart.
Thank you, David.
Because if you have EDS, there is a very high likelihood of your X-rays showing absolutely perfect bones, because it's not the bones that are the problem. So MRI or orthoscopic X-ray. I don't remember what it's called. Orthogram,
Yeah.
which is where they put dye in and then do an X-ray and take pictures, or an MRI. I don't know.
Anything that shows soft tissue is what we need over X-ray. But insurance wants X-rays first. Usually, they want the X-rays to show up clean.
Yep.
And then they'll do it, so that it costs less, I guess. So they only do one set of imaging.
It's still like, I don't even know why.
Right? Like,
it's just procedural.
It is. It's part of the process.
Nonsense. Yeah.
I was not happy about it originally, but now I'm not as worked up. So I'm happy.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a week. Work was really hard. Like I left work on Wednesday and I was like, I'm going to quit my job. Because stuff is happening and I am not pleased about it. I'm having a really hard time, just in general. And then yesterday was atrocious. Like, I left work early. I was just so angry. To shorten the story, essentially, I got shouted at by an adult because I kept a cool head in a situation that he was making worse because he was escalated. I'm tired of escalated adults, like, making things worse for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, my kids should not have to be the ones in control of themselves over the people who are supposed to be setting the example.
And what kind of double standard?
Right.
From what I understand is that he treats them like kids and expects them to act like adults.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is not how that works, friend. I'm sorry.
Well, and it was, like, traumatic because then I felt like a child because all of this is going on, and then he, like, I don't know. It was just icky. The whole thing was gross. So I left work early. I was like, I'm done. I'm not dealing with anything else. I dealt with that, and I'm finished now. So I went home. The weather. The weather has been absolutely just the worst this last week. And
all the Coloradans can attest, I'm sure. Like, it's been brutal for everyone.
We're miserable. We are not having a good time.
No.
And it came to a head yesterday. Like, yesterday was the worst of it. Yesterday is the worst, like, full systemic pain I've had in a long time.
Yeah, no, you got here and you were, like, dying.
Yeah.
You were barely keeping it together.
Well, and that was after I had had a bath.
Yeah.
To, like, try to help some of it. But, like, my whole lower half was just locked up and twisting, and it was not a good time.
No.
And he was not having a good time either.
No, I was not.
Because the weather was terrible. Awful.
The life was wonderful, though.
Yes. We did have a really good life. It was a lot of fun. It's always really nice when we get to just, like, hang out. So, join our lives on Fridays. Some Fridays. Most Fridays.
Right. You can listen in or you can participate. It's fun.
Yeah.
We just talk, and sometimes we plan the new episodes.
Yep. Yeah. And we ask for your input when you're there. So, always feel free. Pop in. It's not like a formal thing.
Right. And just to clarify, we stream most Fridays.
Yeah.
We're trying to do it bi-weekly. But then when we schedule it bi-weekly, we end up doing it every week.
Right.
When we say we're doing it weekly, we skip weeks. So I don't know what to say anymore. Well, sometimes we're on Friday. Just check things on Friday.
Fridays or no.
Right.
Yeah.
Friday at around 5 Mountain.
Yeah.
Is when we usually say stuff.
Right.
About it. So.
Right. We're like, hey, we're going to be streaming.
Yeah, VDS.
I don't know. And ADHD, and I have a job, and
I have kids.
Fatigue, and
all the fun.
You know how it goes. It's fine, right? Oh, and my ankles, I don't like them.
The note we have here is ankles.
Not great. Not great. It's not great. I'm not having a good time. I would like to cut them off, but I'm finally like making doctor's appointments again and getting my shit together.
You hit like a reset point though.
Yeah.
Where like you're at the point in the process where you have to start all over basically.
Exactly. Because I called for the MRI and they were like, "Oh, your 3 months is up," and I was like, "Oh, dang it!" So I have to go do another MRI on both ankles. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see, and then we'll decide which is worse. The left one. The left one is worse. And then we will do something about it because I'm over it. I'm done now. It's terrible. So, yeah, I don't think that's, nothing else.
Yeah, that was
nothing else to say. It was just a really long week. it's always like, I just wait for the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please come soon.
That's true even for me, because on weekends I get kid support.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference, where like they can help me, or we hang out and distract.
Right. Yes. Kids are easy.
My kids are super easy.
Well, it's like, even my kids at work, even the like heavy hitter kids,
are
if you communicate with them in ways that make sense to them, it's fine. It's fine.
Treat them like people.
Yeah. And they're wonderful for distracting. Like, there are days where I'm like, I'm gonna cry if I have to talk to an adult today, and then the kids come in and I'm like, oh, everything is wonderful,
right,
and fine and dandy, and this is easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like kids. That's not an invitation to send me your children, by the way.
No,
that
please
would be
don't.
weird and illegal.
We'll set up a P.O. box for that so that they can be picked up when we feel like it.
The P.O. box of children.
Send us your kids if you want.
Don't do that.
Please don't.
Awful. Sorry. All right.
We're not morticians, so
if
you send them via the mail, we're not going to be able to help.
Especially if you put them in a P.O. box.
Yeah. So just
no.
Do not.
Great. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about self-advocacy and maintaining boundaries.
Yes. So self-advocacy in the sense of both mental, emotional, and in the physical areas. Yeah. Because it's important that you are able to communicate with other people effectively.
Yes.
And in a way that helps you to get your needs met without emotional upheaval, I guess.
And I was not the greatest at self-advocacy. I'm still not great. I'm better.
Well, but that's like, you have an accommodation because you have like someone to hold you accountable.
Well, yeah, that's...
and help you while you're doing all of that.
Yeah, I no longer take her in with me. She'll go to the appointments, but she stays out, and then she asks me afterwards if I brought up this or if I brought that up. And
well, it's like it's almost like I do, we do, you do, and that's how you picked it up as you went.
Exactly. Yeah,
which is exactly what happened actually. See, it works.
Yeah,
I do, we do, you do.
The first half we're talking self-advocacy specifically.
Yep.
And it'll be fun because I've been through the entire journey of self-advocacy.
Yep.
And I mean,
I had to learn that I was allowed to advocate for myself.
Yes. I think that's a lot of people's problem. And then I just never
stopped doing it.
It's like you hit the hurdle of the doctor. And you're like, oh, the doctor knows everything.
Yes.
Like, they went to school. They know.
This isn't an authority.
So when they tell you things, you're just like, okay.
You're supposed to just be like, whatevs. All right.
Guess I'm fine.
Trust you.
Weird that I have these imaginary pains all the time. What's that about?
Anxiety.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's only anxiety.
Yeah. Once you hear anxiety like 6 times, you kind of get over listening to the doctor.
You're like, you telling me I have anxiety is making me anxious. I'm going to need you to stop.
Can you stop gaslighting me for 1 second? And listen. Could you listen?
Could you? No. No, they could not.
No, you got to find a nurse practitioner. They'll listen. And they'll know what to do.
But not a PA.
Yeah.
Sometimes, usually.
NP. Look for the NP.
Yeah. They're good.
Yeah.
They're really good, actually.
Years of experience, learning, and caring about people.
Yeah. Well, and like observationally learning things, because that's what bothers me about like physicians is they're like textbook and what I learned, textbook and what I learned. And there's no observational like collecting of data.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at you and being like, okay, I see this in other patients who have the same thing. Maybe we should take this into account seriously. It's like, oh, well, that's not in the book.
Right. The book that was printed when I was in school 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't mention anything about, and I refuse to look at Google.
Yeah.
I go to conferences and they teach me everything I need to know.
They teach me everything.
And normally I just ignore them because it's not in the book. I mean, that's how it feels, at least to me.
Yeah. That's exactly it. They're like, I will keep my eyes closed unless I'm looking at the book.
The book says that, oh, racism. Wow, there's a lot of that. I'm not supposed to take care of you.
When I look at things now and I'm like, holy crap, like I really have translucent skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm brown. So that was like, oh, no, you don't. No. Because racism.
Because racism.
Yeah.
It's very severe.
I watched a TikTok. I think I may have sent it to our Fantastic Pains account. But it was of this poor woman doing that, like, one thing about me fill in, which is super funny, by the way. But she was talking about how she saw, like, it was like 8 different doctors and practices and craziness, and was like, there's a lump on my boob. Can you look at that? And everybody told her she was fine, she was fine. And then she was looking online and was like, skin cancer, what does this look like? But it's only white people. And so if you only know what it looks like for white people, brown people are gonna like fall between the cracks repeatedly because you're expecting it to look like it does on white skin. So she saw like 7 or 8 different doctors, and then she had to advocate for herself and make them do something about it. And it turned out she had breast cancer this whole time.
They caught it early.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. But you shouldn't have to be like, excuse me, this is the medical procedure that I need now.
Yeah.
You should be like, hey, I have a problem and a fear, and they do the rest, like, without bias. But there's a lot of bias.
Step 1, get your needs met.
Step 2, get your needs met.
Yeah. Well, and after reading that article, what I'm going to say might come across as...
Oh, the Spoonies article?
Yes.
Yeah.
Might come across to some people as doctor shopping in a negative way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, they encourage people to look for doctors that confirm their diagnoses.
Well, the article was like encouraging each other to lie to doctors to get the correct diagnosis that they want.
I want you to see doctors until you feel confident that they've answered your query.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you'll get blown off.
Yeah.
And you'll know it. You'll feel it. Like, you'll leave and know that it doesn't feel right. That they didn't. They looked at your skin and went, oh, it's anxiety? So shop around. Doctors are people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have bias in negative ways.
Yeah.
So,
oh, absolutely. Like,
especially for women.
Yeah.
Like, just
women don't feel pain, so
the times that Jen's been
them.
Screwed over, like, she doesn't have a condition, but goddamn.
Well, but she does when she is passing humongous kidney stones and they keep sending her home. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why though?
When she goes in and says, I get kidney stones all the time, this feels like a very big kidney stone, and they're like,
you're fine,
it's nothing.
Maybe you're just anxious that it's a kidney stone.
Because what would she know about having kidney stones?
Right. Well, and that's the other thing, is that, like, they assume that people are stupid. And not like stupid IQ stupid, but like uneducated about their own bodies. Which also, by the way, is a travesty, that if you are confident that people are not educated on their bodies, we've got to look at that problem, because that's insane for people to not know their own bodies. Like, but then you come up with like these people who have chronic illnesses, our Spoonie friends, and we do know our bodies. We are unfortunately we live inside of them. Yeah. And they're horrible.
Well, and when you have a Spoonie condition, you're acutely aware of everything that happens.
Yes.
So that's usually misinformed or misdiagnosed as like what's the word I'm looking for?
Hypochondriac. Yeah. Or there's like somatic symptom disorder, which is basically the same thing, where they're like, oh, you're overly sensitive to your input. But if you have problems, yeah, you are overly sensitive to it because your body is constantly sending you like unusable signals.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the same as someone who is well, who gets a signal and is like, ow, move away from the thing that hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or ow, that means your bone is broken. Like, for us, it's just ow. Ow.
Ow. Yeah.
Ow. Ow.
I mean, if we articulated
Forever.
it every time, like, yeah.
That would be. My husband used to go, I breathed again when I would go, ow. I'm like, you're a shithead. Fuck you. But we live here. We live inside of them, and they are constantly sending ridiculous nonsense signals.
Yes.
So we've had to learn which ones are, like, I don't know. I was gonna say true or false, but they're all true.
No,
you're
but
still getting
there's
input. But
you know when it's something that needs to be looked at,
right, or something that is new or different or unusual.
That's when I go in. When it's a new pain and it's
Yes.
persistent, then I go in.
Yeah. Well, because I think for us, a lot of it is like knowing. If we know what it is,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, okay, we're good.
Mhm.
But if I don't know what that is, I'm like, I don't want to put myself at risk by ignoring something that I don't have the like schema to say, oh, that's just
Mhm.
whatever, it's fine. Because there's a lot of like, I'm in horrendous pain that would send other people to the ER, but I know what it is and it's fine. But if you're in horrendous pain and you don't know what it is, like, go get that checked out.
Absolutely. And don't lead with pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that you have to say that, but when you lead with pain, they're gonna assume you're looking for pain
They write you
beds
off real quick, especially at like an ER.
Yeah.
Emergency rooms, really, really bad about this.
Mm-hmm.
Urgent cares are better, which is sad.
It's very sad.
But yeah.
Really, you just need to let them know that you're looking for the cause. Like,
yeah.
That's
like,
what every time I go in, I'm like, I think it's a new dislocation I can't set, or I have no idea what this could be.
Right. Can you help me? Like,
yeah, I'm looking to make it known.
Right. Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing. Like, we could very well ignore those things, but like we already have really poor risk management.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because we have to be like, okay, we have to risk pain to do anything.
Yeah.
And everything all the time forever, right? So we have really poor risk management. But if we let those pains go and it turned out to be something, like we are at a higher risk of like dying of something stupid, right? Like your appendix burst.
Right.
Or I don't even know, like a kidney infection. Or I'm trying to think of like
and
the things that are
we get dismissed so readily.
Yeah.
I've told this story before, but it's a good example of how doctors treat you before and after they find out there's a problem.
Oh yeah.
So
this is a good one.
This is I have two stories. One about my kidney biopsy. I had to have my kidneys looked at because I was having back pain in that area. Yeah. And I was sitting there in pain, and they were like, "What's your pain level?" And I was like, 7. And they're like, "Really? A 7?" And I'm like, "Yes, a 7." And
it's not the worst I've felt.
Right.
Therefore, it's not like an 8, 9, 10.
It's intense, but it's, I'm not dying. And they're like, "Okay, sure." Because I wasn't like flailing around.
Right.
Then we go in to do the biopsy. They do the biopsy, and I giggled. And the lady who was in charge of the pain like the pain meds and all the like,
yeah,
she was like, what's up? And I was like, "Oh, it just really hurts." And she was like, "Oh,
yeah,
like
you're one of those."
She connected the dots and realized that I was in pain a lot, because she knows what a kidney biopsy should look like.
Because that's the thing, like we had to change the way we responded to pain, because you can't be like doing the Cinderella flop.
Can't do it
all the time.
I can't even do it when it's like socially acceptable.
I can't either. Or even when I'm alone, I'm like, yeah, ow.
Right. It's just not how we do things.
Right. So usually it's like totally normal, little burst of like, oh my God. And then back to normal.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we were doing yesterday, because my lower half hurt so bad. Like really, really bad. And my face hurt really, really bad. And I'm tired of that. I'm done with the facial pain. No more. No, thank you. But it's like, do, ow. And then you go back to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. The other story is about my back. I went in and I had like, it's
is
like
this the stitch one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's like they reinforced the stitch with like a plastic frame, basically, that like holds everything in.
Yeah.
And it got caught on my blanket. It got yanked pretty far out of the wound.
Yep.
As it was healing. And I was like, that's not good. And my back was killing me because I had just had a tumor removed from the spinal cord.
Yep.
So they had to open up my spine, and like it was pretty severe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a legit surgery. I went in to the ER and was like, this is what's going on. And they were busy. So the first doctor ignored me.
Yep.
And was like, okay, well, I guess we'll do an x-ray. And they did. And then I sat there. I was there for a total of 11 hours. And for the first 9, I was ignored. Like, they didn't even tell me the results of the x-ray. And then the doctor switched. And the new guy came in, looked at me and went, are you in a lot of pain? And I was like, yes, I am. And he was like, what's going on? And I explained it. And he was like, oh. So he gave me pain meds on the site.
Yep.
And then he looked at my back and did what he could. And then I was taken care of. But the first guy didn't believe me. So he was content to just let me sit there.
Yeah.
It was like punishment.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about that before, where they will put you through like a gauntlet of tests, or it's just a lot of shame.
Yeah, it really was.
Like,
and I had the kids with me and Jen, because we didn't have anyone to watch them.
Right.
It was a time.
Yeah.
It's not impressed with that.
It was,
But I mean, as an example, like, doctors are people, and they can be wrong.
Yeah.
If you feel that we're not telling you to like get the answer you want. I want you to feel like they've addressed it adequately.
Right.
And when they won't, because they'll be like, oh,
you'll feel it.
Yeah.
Because we're used to it, right? Like, we're used to having people blow us off or not believe us or treat it with like a weird kind of disdain.
My favorite is I have EDS, and they go, when and who diagnosed you? Like, excuse you?
It doesn't count unless they went to Harvard.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, it was the geneticist, and it was 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That sound right?
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Ridiculous. Stupid. Which is like, but this is why we have to learn how to appropriately advocate for ourselves.
Yes.
And part of that is recognizing when you've been blown off and knowing what to do about that. And sometimes what to do about that is like immediately you're going to find a different doctor.
And you're not a bad person for doing it.
Yeah, no. Like, the
Don't
judgment
feel bad.
around it has got to stop, because they're doctors. This is what their job is.
Yeah.
And you're a patient who is paying for a service. So get the service. I don't know why we lost that, but it bothers me. It's annoying.
Oh, yeah.
But other times it's going to be like, when I was talking to my, oh my God, who was it? The allergist? And I just described something the wrong way.
Yeah.
That happens when you go to advocate for yourself and they mistake it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's this other thing because you described it this way. And you're like,
and you can't backtrack. As soon as you say the wrong thing, they're going to stick with that.
Yes.
And everything is from that point on colored through that lens.
Right.
Like, I've done it so many times where I'm like, well, it feels like, and then I say the wrong thing. I'm like, oh, it's clearly this from this other thing you have. I'm like, shoot.
Yes.
I fudged.
There have been times where I'll turn around and like email a doctor and be like, hey, I think you misunderstood. I think I described it wrong. Here's a better description of what's happening.
Yeah.
And then that'll work. But it's very different from being outright like dismissed.
Right. Absolutely.
Because they want to help, but they get it in their head like they're like, oh, we found a clue. And then they're like running for that one because maybe it's an easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, but wait, I didn't. Oh, crap.
I didn't describe that correctly at all.
Yeah, because I said peeling, and he was like, chemical peeling. And I was like, no, what I meant was like my skin gets really stretched out, and then all the skin flakes off.
Mm-hmm.
Different. So, yeah. It's just hard.
Right. Well, in the vein of self-advocacy, like we were saying at the beginning, maybe get an accountability buddy.
Yes.
Someone that you feel comfortable taking with you to talk about you.
Yeah.
Like it can be a friend who's seen you throughout the like time period, or a spouse. Literally anyone that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comfortable enough with, really.
Right. Well, my husband just offered to go with me to my next pain management appointment because I hurt and I'm like less functional and I'm not getting through work days often enough to be like, yeah, I'm totally functional. Like things are
changed.
Really hard right now. And not to mention I'm running around with a broken tooth.
Same, mine's keeping me up at night now.
Broken tooth, an ankle that just won't, and an ankle that is like,
Are they on their last legs?
A moment of silence for the really bad joke. Now that's over.
I am so happy. That joke was fantastic.
I hate you. No, I don't. I love you. Oh, man. But how did you... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, how did you learn to self-advocate? Because we talked about the kind of like, I do, we do, you do model.
Well, for me, the problem I had with advocating was I didn't feel like I had a right to, or I was worried how the doctor would react. It's weird, but I had this like worry that it would change their perception of me to a point where like, and even it's like personal. It's like they weren't going to be my friend after that. A weird feeling, but it's true. I mean, it wasn't. It took Jen standing up for me several times to kind of get that it's okay watching how they reacted and what she said, like the way she said it.
Right.
She presented it a certain way, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, watching the Jen in action really helped a lot.
Yeah.
See, now, like I said, she doesn't go in with me. She waits outside and then double checks with me that I said everything that I should have, that I didn't forget anything.
And that like middle step was like you advocating and her going, you forgot a thing. Yeah. Or, hey, make sure you tell him how that actually happened.
Yeah. No, normally it's like, well, he actually has this.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh, yeah. That's the other thing, is that I don't remember a lot of it.
It's so hard.
So
if it's every day,
keeping a log of your pains or your interesting medical things that are going on will help you so much, and you'll feel more confident going in with a list of things like this, and this happened.
Yeah, on these dates.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of show them that you have tried to track what precedes it. Because that's another one, is that they're going to want to know, like, well, what happened before?
Yeah.
Or like what caused it, or like what did you do to make it better? Like all of those things are valuable information. And if we don't have them, there's a lot of times where they're like, oh, well, do all that first.
Right.
And then come back and talk
no, I've had that. And it's good. Even if nothing preceded it, write it down. Like, that's
out of the blue.
That's valuable information that they'll want. Like, nothing started it, but it was this. And then you can write down what you think triggered it if you have an idea.
Yeah.
Like, especially for the psychology stuff. I've been talking about what triggers panic attacks a lot. Because lately I've been having more, and they're out of the blue.
Oh.
They're like those ones that the body starts.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm having one. But there's nothing mentally going on.
Yeah.
That was triggering. So.
See, that's so interesting, because I've never had, like, I've had a couple panic attacks ever, I think. And they were usually like PTSD based, but now it's like all the body. She just does what she wants to do. And sometimes that's like really horrendous spasms. And yesterday we were both playing the game of like chest pain, really sharp, horrible, painful chest pain.
Yep.
And at one point I was like, okay, so either it's a heart attack and I'm going to die and it's too late already because, oh, well, like, whatever. Or it's POTS. And so I just was like, I'm going to treat it like POTS until something else happens.
Yeah. So, side note, like talking about what triggers things. The feeling I had when that school shooting was happening,
Yeah.
that like super intense adrenaline drop,
Yeah.
and like in survival mode, get to cover kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is what I'll feel randomly, and then I'm in it.
Oh.
Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even trigger the memories anymore. It's just that feeling.
Weird. So it's like a habitual just drop you into it.
I think it happens when I have like major adrenaline drops for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Which happen when I don't take all my thyroid meds. But like, it's weird. You know, like being perfectly fine and then feeling like you need to duck and cover out of the blue. Not fun.
So I get the adrenaline drops, but it's not, I don't know. It's weird because there's no like, it's not like a flighty fear.
Right.
It's more like a, I don't know, like being dropped from a really high place.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that feels like.
That's what they normally are like for
Yeah.
me. But then I'll get the random one that
Weird.
is like, oh no, you're about to die, friend. Do something.
Better duck. Oh.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Rough. The brain is a weird thing.
Yes, sir.
But like tracking those things is so important because like we want our doctors to believe us when we say like, it's the body, it's not the brain. It's the brain, it's not the body.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of crossover. And sometimes when they're saying like, well, one might affect the other, they're not in fact telling us we're crazy. But we're so used to having that like that reaction might not be met well if we're not paying attention and listening and making sure that what we're advocating is being received, I guess.
Yeah, like a huge thing is learning how to react calmly to bad news.
Yes.
Or news that you didn't need.
Right.
You know, like if you have a meltdown at the doctor's office, they're going to write in their notes whatever they want about you.
Yeah.
And then that'll get passed on to the next doctor. And it always is better to have it just say, oh, they said this in your record than to have well, they had a mental breakdown when it wasn't this. Yeah. Like, and it's better overall. If you could identify that it's not the news that you need and can stomach it, and then go to the next doctor and be calm and explain it calmly. Right. You don't want to go to the next doctor and shit talk the last one.
Yes. Because that's the thing is like you do not want to be labeled or received as a difficult patient, right? You want to go in, and even if somebody else has written in your stuff that you are a difficult patient, you want to go in and be the most reasonable person they have ever met in their entire life. Yeah. And that's really hard.
Especially if you had a previous bad experience with a doctor.
Right. Well, there are times where you just want to quit.
I hit that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like, no more medical care ever again. Bye.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
No more.
But I mean, sometimes it's good to like, I don't know, take a break.
Yeah.
And then come back to it. Because it might be that our descriptions are off in some way that's leading them somewhere else. Or maybe you communicate better in writing. And maybe you write like emails to your doctors instead. And maybe you attach those dates and those blogs or logs to that and send it that way. Because I know it's hard when you sit like you're sitting in front of somebody and you're like, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, that's definitely.
My ankle is maybe broken.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be here right now.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, are you sure you're not anxious? And then you just start crying. Like, no, we don't want to do that. So, yeah, find out what mode of communication is going to work best for you. Find out if you need to make a physical like list to take with you of things that you want to talk about. Take notes on what they are saying.
I'd almost say that it's worth it to do a pretend rundown with a friend.
Yeah.
Go through your list and then interact with them and have them like ask questions, because then you can see what you're missing.
Yeah.
Like if there's something important that you're not doing correctly, that your friend will be able to parrot back and be like, well, I didn't really get that.
Right.
Like maybe try a different way of wording it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I have to actually go about doing next, is because I put stuttering.
Yeah.
And he was like, speech therapy, psychological. And I was like, tongue spasms.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
But sometimes we can't get the descriptors right until someone is like, yeah, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And then we go, okay, let me try again.
Look at my pink fingertips.
I was noticing that, and I was noticing my purple hands here.
What is going on?
Blood flow is not a thing today. This is so weird. and now watch the blood just drain all the way away.
Right.
Bye.
Okay.
Handbrake.
Handbrake. I think we could actually take a break at this point.
I think so too. I think we've come to a good kind of conclusion and resolution on self-advocacy, and like communicate, get your needs met, get them met. If they are not meeting your needs, you find someone who will, because it's not selfish.
And don't lie to them.
Yeah. It's not selfish to get your needs met.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point of medicine. I don't know. My opinion.
It's a good opinion. Yeah. It's fair.
But yeah, don't lie to your doctors. That's not a good thing to do on any level.
Don't reinforce that article any more than we have to.
It was so bad. Go check out that episode. It was fun. We were angry. What? Oh, yes. We're going to have a rebuttal to the article up on our website soon.
It's going to be amazing.
It's probably already up, actually, by the time you're watching
this.
It's
live. You can go right now. Go to fantasticpains.com and then go to, what's it under?
Blog.
We have a blog tab.
Blog tab. That's new as of today. But today in the past, because you're in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Check out our website. Go to Discord.
Yep.
Leave us feedback. And then start the self-care.
And Venmo me $1,000.
That.
We do have PayPal, but you don't need to send $1,000.
We'll start with
only
1,000 pennies and work our way up.
There you go. Coffee money. Coffee money, because life's blood is coffee.
Don't feel obligated.
No, don't. All right. So we're going to go take a break. What do they need to do?
They need to drink water.
Indeed. Take your meds if you have not or you have forgotten.
Get a snack because you are a snack.
You're a snack. You are.
And then do something nice for yourself.
Yeah. If there's sunlight, go get some sun. There is never a bad time to just go get some sunlight in your life.
And I want you to say something nice about yourself to yourself.
Practice that self-care.
Yeah.
And self-talk.
Self-talk.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Be nice.
One nice a day.
Shake hands and apologize.
Be civil for one sentence, and then you can go about whatever you were doing before.
I like your style. I fucking hate you. That's how that's going to go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're going to go do some self-care stuff, and we will see you in a moment.
Bye.
Fantastic Pains now has merch. I know we've been promising it for a while, but it is here. You can find our stuff at fantastic-pains.creator-spring.com. We have t-shirts, hoodies, leggings, wine coolers, I guess you can call them, and my very favorite backpack. So take a minute, go check us out.
Welcome back. How was your break?
Ours was a longer break, as you can see. I'm not wearing the same
There
clothes.
was an outfit change. Because fuck the continuity that I strive for.
I wasn't going to lie to you. I thought about wearing the same outfit, but like...
And apparently I'm okay with lying to you.
I guess so. Now you know who has the, like, ethics here.
Oh, no. I wish I had the ethics.
It's all that patriarchy.
It's all the patriarchy, man. It's always gets you.
So, do you want to tell them we had to take a break early yesterday?
Yeah.
And then stuff was just not lining up, and other people needed some love. And so we decided best thing was to just call it and come back.
Yeah.
Because also we were melting. It was really bad. The pain.
Yeah, no, it hit me hard.
Yeah. It was not nice, and I'm tired of weather.
Yeah, we went for break and then died.
Yep. We're supposed to recharge, and it just didn't work that way. So we're back, and now you're back, and it's great and fine, and everyone's here.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about setting boundaries.
Yes. And that's like within the context of, we're going to touch on like the medical side and then the social and emotional side. And that'll be fun because we're not so good at setting boundaries all the time.
No.
Like I'm good at the no's. I'm good at like telling people no.
Right.
That one I'm good at. I like saying no. It's my favorite thing.
Contrary Jenkins over here.
Yeah. Very, quite contrary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have like, and I'm good at it for like the medical side, I guess. But not so great at it on the like social emotional side.
So I'm inverse. I'll let them do anything to me medically.
Oh, see, that's fine, but I don't like tolerate being brushed off. Like I'm not gonna come back and give it another go.
Yeah.
That's one of the boundaries that I'll draw is like, oh nope, I know that that's not working, and I'm gonna say goodbye.
That's a lesson I had to learn, but yeah, I'm at that point, but I wasn't before.
Right.
I was like, I'll keep trying.
Yeah.
See if it gets better.
Maybe they just don't like me right now, and then they can learn to like me, and then I'll get care.
Yeah,
no.
That's not how that works.
No, they've already decided. Usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that part I get, like, and let them do anything to you. Yeah. I've literally told medical professionals before that I would let them hit me with a bus if I thought it would help.
Yep.
That's where I'm at. When I go see medical professionals, I'm like, I'm dying and I need help.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's where I'm at if I'm here.
Shoot.
So, yeah. So the medical side is easier because we're not like, I don't know. It's interesting to think about it outside of the context of chronic illness because other people are like, oh, they want to send me straight for surgery and they didn't do any of the other things.
Right.
Whereas we're like, no, I don't want to do all the other things. Please just do the surgery.
Yeah, please.
Cut me open and fix it. Because that's how I feel about it. And I know you feel the same way.
Absolutely.
We're like, don't mess with PT. Don't mess with injections.
Been there, done that. It doesn't help. Causes damage.
Yeah.
Let's just do the fixing part.
Right.
Let's get to the good stuff.
The good stuff.
The surgery.
Cutting me open. Long recovery.
Right.
Fun times. Actually.
But,
it's preferable.
Do you think there's a surgery you would say no to?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I think I'd even do like brain surgery at this point.
I don't think I'd let them fuse anything at this point.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Because I think I would wind up hurting myself because I'm so used to having extra mobility. Because this is what makes me crazy about PT, where they're like, well, then just don't do that. And you're like, you don't understand. This has been my normal range of motion my entire life.
Yeah, I didn't come upon this magically one day.
Right.
I didn't strive for it.
Yeah. I'm like, throwing my head back is not a party trick. It's just like, I've done it my entire life because there's no like natural stop.
Yep.
My elbows, when they're like, stop hyperextending your elbows. I'm like, how? How do I do that? Because when I use my arm, there was a pop, haha. It just, that's how it do.
It do. That's how it do.
So I guess there's not a surgery I wouldn't let them do necessarily, but there are definitely like procedures and steps where I'm like, no, skip it, move on.
Yeah.
But I also know I have more freedom to do that because I've built a team and I don't have to fight with insurance that way.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I've done everything.
Yeah.
All the joint surgeries, and then I had open spine surgery.
Yeah.
Insurance is like, I guess.
I guess.
We'll prolong it. This guy again. Oh, what? He wants knees now? Great. Sure he does.
He wants all of his organs removed. Oh, all right.
Yeah, guess we have to
I
oblige.
guess.
I mean, he's the boss at this point.
And then you turn into a cursed demon,
Yeah,
like the mummy.
Mm-hmm. That's how that happens. Is how you get mummies.
That's how. Do you want mummies? Because that's how we get mummies.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
That's when insurance says no. When we get mummies.
If insurance says no, you get mummies.
You get mummies.
It's a cursed procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't think that I'd let them like fuse anything.
Yeah.
Because I really like, and not because it would hurt me, but mostly because like I would injure myself.
Right. Well, and that's something you'd
move.
easily say no to then. Like,
yeah.
That's a boundary you're comfortable with setting.
Yeah. I'm like, don't do anything that's going to impede my range of motion because I'll fuck it up.
Yeah, and I feel like that conversation would go along the lines of, you need this, we're going to do it. And then you'd be like, what? Excuse me?
Excuse me?
You know what I mean? How they just kind of steamroll you sometimes
Yeah.
into doing things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is what you need, so we're doing it.
It's your spot. I don't care. No.
I don't.
I do not care.
We're not doing it. Sorry.
If you impede my motion, I'll injure myself further. It will not be good.
Yeah.
Because everything around that will have to like deal with the shock of not having that range of motion anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just dislocated my wrist.
Classy. Can she set it and then forget it?
No. It's not a crock pot.
You are a crock, though. Don't. Do not.
I was trying to pop myself, but he's like right in range.
I'm like the perfect distance away from you from getting punched.
For those of you who are watching, like these shelves back here, one time I threw my arm to try to get my arm to pop like my elbow. And I hit it with my fingertips, with just like the fingertips, the backs of my fingertips. And it was just like,
yeah, that was a bad move.
Ow. It was great.
Not really.
It's not the first time I've like hit something because I'm like not paying attention. I'm like, my arm hurts.
Yeah.
And then I have hit things.
And it won't be the last.
No, it won't be the last at all. So is there a surgery that you wouldn't have them do?
Let's see. No. I mean, I'd probably be against fusing things.
Mm-hmm.
But if I need a fusion, then there's a real reason for it.
Right. Well, and you have like the disc degeneration and
but
arthritis back there too.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'd let them do anything to me. I let them like fiddle around with my nerves, like my straight up spinal column.
Yeah, gross.
They had to cut things off of my spine, so.
Yep. I don't like the idea of that. They opened your dura, which is just so...
They got to the actual nerves, and they cut off the chunks that were bad.
He had
the nasty bits,
tumors,
if you will. And they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, and now we know more about like the healing process and what all is entailed and what helps and what doesn't. So I think if there were more surgeries that we'd have to like go through, we know we heal well.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't heal well because like EDS, but we recover quickly because our baseline is already pain.
Mm-hmm.
So surgery for us is not. It's not a big deal.
No.
It's really not.
No, and like I blow off. Like I had spinal surgery, and to me that's just like.
And other people are like, Jesus, what?
Yeah, well, I don't think about it. It's not as dire sounding to me when I say they did it.
But anybody else, if anybody else was like, I have to have my spine cut open, it'd be like,
I was excited.
My God.
I was all about it, man. I was like, let's do this shit.
It was also funny because they were like, well, we could paralyze you. And he was like, I don't care.
Don't care. Let's do it.
You mean I wouldn't have to feel my lower half ever again?
There's a 10% chance that I don't have to feel? Great.
I don't care. Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I didn't get paralyzed.
Fortunately.
Right. I put the quotes on that sentence. I know what I'm doing.
Now, what about outside of like bone? What if you like like gut stuff. Because that's not something that we talk about a lot because it's not something we've pursued a whole lot.
No. And we know somebody who recently had a gallbladder removed.
Yep.
Shit. I don't know.
That I would let them do. Like removal, cool. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like a gallbladder or a kidney.
A kidney.
I only need one to live. Don't need both.
Well, it's not like we drink either, so that's fine. Wait, that's
True.
the liver.
Very true.
Both.
Yeah, no, I'd be down. The lesson here is Chris is willing to let you do anything to his body if you're a doctor. Just tell me you're doing it, and I'll be like, all right.
Some back alley guy just jumps
What
you.
part of my body hasn't been violated by a doctor
Now,
at this
what
point?
if his name was Dr. Payne?
As long as it wasn't spelled P-A-I-N, I'd be down.
It's P-A-Y-N-E.
Yeah, I'll take that guy.
Dr. Payne. It's
Dr. Payne.
Totally acceptable. Why did you pick that career, Dr. Payne? You had, like, you were born a doctor. Come on. My father was Dr. Payne, and his father
I come
before
from a
him.
long line of Dr. Paynes. A long, proud line. Yeah, no, I'm down for anything.
Yeah.
Which does not help with, like, setting boundaries, because I'm like, let's do it. Why not? And then they kind of have, like, free reign. You know what I mean?
See, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily a bad thing when they're willing to do stuff.
Well, I mean, other doctors look at you that way, too. You're kind of building up this, like, this willingness to try everything.
Yes.
So, like, I have to do injections again, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
I
because
don't
that's the,
doing that
like,
shit.
we got to go through the, proceduralized pieces.
Yeah.
It's so weird how they do it, too, because it's like, you have to prove that you want this bad enough.
If you want it, you'll work for it. Okay. I mean, sure.
Yeah. No.
Whatever you say.
6 months of PT sentencing. No, thank you. No.
Mm-mm.
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 My least favorite, I keep having them send me back to PT for the pelvic floor stuff. And every time I go, they're like, you're fine. Bye.
Right.
And then they're like, well, maybe let's do another round. And I go back and they're like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. Like,
why do you keep doing
why
this
am
to
I
me?
here?
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the fuck to do with me.
No. That's the thing. There's not an easy answer.
Yeah. Well, and they keep trying to, like, find the easy answer.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not going to be one thing. And that's not going to, like, solve the world's problem. No.
Yeah.
I still have a movement disorder. Thank you.
Okay. So, for transparency, we already kind of had this conversation half done yesterday.
Yes.
We didn't really talk about setting emotional boundaries.
No, we didn't get that far.
No, we didn't. We didn't touch it at all.
No, because we danced around it. We were like rotating around the point. See, and that's where, like, that's why I put, like, feeling responsible for other people's feelings. That's a really big one for us, I think, because we pay so much attention to other people's feelings.
Right.
I guess. And
Well,
so we're
and we
like,
can
how?
understand how they got there.
Yeah.
Which is not helpful when you're trying to be mad at someone, but you know why they're being an asshole.
Exactly. Oh my god. You're like, I want to be mad at you. I would love to be mad at you.
Yeah, but for some reason,
That's
I
not a
understand your
thing.
life journey, and I hate it.
That's exactly it too. You're like, I'm an empath, and I fucking hate this.
Yeah. Like, oh, God, if only I could be mad at you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's how I feel about that. And it's hard because we go through it and, you are needed.
I am needed. They're
The
asking
bat
for me.
signal.
If you're watching this, Yeti, Zeffy just asked me if I was online. And I am, but I'm not.
But I'm not.
I will be later. I will respond to him because I'm a good boy.
In the later times.
I will be.
Whoopah.
Exit. That's only going to take a second. Okay, we're good.
Yay. Okay.
Didn't need to exit that.
But I did. You made me do it last time, so I just assumed I was doing it this time. Wow.
He's DTF, guys. He is DTF. If you know what that means, you know. If you don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, no. Okay. Feeling responsible for other people's feelings.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it goes along with our conversation about responsibility last week, because we talk a lot about like taking responsibility for ourselves, but that also means that we have to let go of responsibility for others and let them be responsible for themselves.
Right. You should acknowledge that by taking control of yourself, other people can do the same.
Yes.
Like they can be in control of their reactions to things.
And should be.
Yes.
And you don't have to like co-regulate with the world.
Right. You're going to, because you're a crazy person. But you don't have to. You can be a Karen about this one thing. Go for it. Be a Karen.
Practice.
In the mirror. Go into the mirror. Go into the mirror. Get on the other side of it and start being the Karen you were destined to be. Yeah. That's how you get Jabberwocks.
I was gonna say this is the like start of a really weird horror movie.
It's the Jabberwock origin, just Karens.
What happened to Wonderland? I have no idea. Karen showed up and
they wanted to see our manager. Ooh. It was weird.
And then she became the manager.
Yeah.
And everyone died.
Yeah.
Public executions left and right. I don't know.
It was weird.
That was a weird time.
Remember when that happened? Yeah, that was weird. How'd we fix it? We didn't.
We just left. I don't know.
Not our problem.
Great.
Anyways.
Wonderful. But yeah, so we have to like stop worrying about what other people think and feel about what we're doing. And especially when you hit this like burnout zone where it's either like self-care or you're going to lose it. So be selfish sometimes. Like really, it's okay.
Yeah, err on the side of caution and be selfish.
Yeah. Like look after yourself.
Right. When you're judging things or making decisions based on how other people are going to react to it, you goofed.
You goofed.
You goofed.
You
I'm sorry.
done goofed.
It's an oopsie. We can fix it. Go back and then remember that you're more important than that.
I thought you were going to say you were more important than them. You might be. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're not. So do what you will with that.
Yeah. There you go. Channel your Karen. Don't go into the mirror. Weird stuff happens over there.
Yeah.
But we also talked about like how setting boundaries relates to our sense of self-worth. And that can go both ways.
Right.
So.
Well, first we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Is that you need to set your boundaries yourself. You need to consciously think about what you value for yourself.
Yeah.
Like people treating you like shit, not cool. You're more valuable than that. So when they give you shitty behavior, you put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
No. Straight up.
Yeah. Well, and oftentimes that means like removing yourself from the situation.
Right.
Because again, you can't control other people.
Well, and what was it that you said yesterday? It was...
Oh, I was talking about how I've done it for years with my students when they're like having a meltdown, or if they're like on the verge of one and they're just being crappy to me. There are times when I've had to look at kids and be like, no, you need to find a different way to speak to me, or you're not going to speak to me.
Yeah.
Or you can talk to me nicely, or you can not talk to me at all.
Yeah.
Like those are your options. And so that's generally how it goes, is like, here's the option. Here's the very clear boundary. So, and I mean, I've done it with my high schoolers too, where I'm like, this is the boundary. You can respect the boundary or you can leave my room.
Right.
So it's not like consequence driven necessarily, but the consequence is you don't get to hang out with me.
Right.
You're not going to be hanging out in my space. You're not going to interact with me unless you interact with me appropriately.
Right. Well, and then the result is that you end up with people around you that care what you value for yourself, or they go away.
Right. We were talking about this in the context of like friends that don't like cussing so much. and how like we all do it. It's part of like code switching, right?
Right.
So like based on who you're around, if you value that person and the boundaries they've set up for themselves, you respect those boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. Like, and we all do it. You know you do it. You know you don't like speak in front of your grandmother the same way you speak in front of your friends. Most of the time.
Unless you're
usually,
a psychopath like me.
You know.
Side note, my grandfather came in here earlier when Red was in here, and I was like, she's a hateful little demon. And he was like, oh, yeah. He's like, why? And I was like, she made me do the podcast. And he was like, oh, good.
He's just like, yes. So, whatever you say, grandson of weirdness.
That's me, Duke of Weird. I live in a different realm, apparently.
The Duke of Zill.
No, we don't. No.
We don't talk about Zill.
That's a personal boundary I don't want to break. We're not
sorry.
Bringing Felix the cat into our podcast.
Not
we
again.
Don't have that much
Never
time
again.
to get into it.
It's a whole episode to itself.
And as a side note, have you ever noticed that we EDS spread?
Oh yeah, we like
drives me fucking nuts. Because I'm like, I'm man spreading, and then I look over. Nope, it's not a man thing. It's an EDS thing.
It's an EDS thing. Because then sometimes my leg comes up all the way over here, and then that throws people off. They don't appreciate when I do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
At work, people are like, "What? What are you doing?" And I'm
what
like,
is
I don't know,
this?
I'm folded.
What's all this then?
I am folded in half.
You don't
and
need
then
to fold
ripped.
in half. She kept kneeing me.
It was fun.
She's doing it again. Look at the violence. This is hate crimes at its worst.
This is hate crime.
She hates me.
When Summer and I have a bad day, we like walk around the building, and we're usually like, "I shall commit war crimes."
It's the line from Into the Woods.
Oh God!
Gotta commit crimes. Let's go commit crimes. I need to commit some crimes with Kaylee, by the way.
It's time to commit crimes.
She brought an inversion table over here.
Hell yeah.
And now look at me copying you. It feels good. Anyways.
See, it does.
It
like,
does.
you just like stand on your own foot.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm doing down here, by the way. I'm standing on my other foot. And then my leg is up here. So.
Mm-hmm. Great.
There you go. EDS spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're so ridiculous. This is gonna be a half. Man.
I regret nothing.
Me neither. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man. So how do you go about like defining your value and deciding what is appropriate and what's not when interacting with you? Like,
well, personally, I hadn't thought about it until yesterday.
Yeah.
There are decisions that you make that kind of dictate that. Like you subconsciously value yourself a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I feel like you need to take more control over it.
Right. Because what if your self-worth or your like feeling of self-worth is really low?
Which we've talked about.
Down.
Don't forget that there's an episode on how to rebuild your self-worth.
Yes.
After you build that and you feel all confident and strong, take a second to set your values. Like, what makes you uncomfortable? What are you comfortable with people talking about with you? Or like, things like that.
Well, and that's kind of how I think about it. Like, unfortunately, it's retroactive for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'll have an interaction and be like, something about that didn't feel good.
That's perfectly fine though to do it that way, because it's not like you can think of every situation that doesn't go well for you.
Right. And
so it's perfectly okay to react.
Yeah, usually it goes that way, and it's like something felt icky, and it's like a wound to your, I don't know, your like inner values, right? Like you've had a value disrespected or encroached on or whatever it is, right? And so then I have to sit down and be like, okay, what about that interaction didn't feel good?
Yeah.
How did that make me feel Why did it make me feel that way? Oh, hey, look, there we go. That made me feel like brushed off to the side or something along that line. And then you can reapproach that person and be like, hey, something about that last interaction really didn't sit right with me. Can we talk about it? And that's really hard. But communication is key.
Yeah, but then moving forward with other people, you have that boundary set.
Yeah.
You're respecting your values.
Right. And generally other people will help you to advocate for those values.
Yeah.
Or advocate for those boundaries.
If they value you.
Yes. Like I remember last year, if ever I went to the floor, other people would be like, it's just Karina. We're going to walk past. Don't look at her. Don't talk to her. She's
Don't make
fine.
eye contact.
It's okay. Just go away. And people learned. And then my friends started being the ones who were like, yeah, no, don't bug her. Like, she's fine. We're not calling an ambulance. It's all good. I'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that was a boundary I set very early, was like, if I hit the floor, no ambulance. Also, please don't look at me. I need you to be casual forever.
It's such a weird. Don't look at me. That's very dominant. Like, if I'm in crisis, avert your eyes.
Avert your eyes.
Do not look at me. I am better than you. Even
in
my worst,
you gotta
I
be
am
like,
better than
don't
you.
look at me in my shame.
Yeah.
I don't want you to see me in this form.
It's not even her final form. Think about that.
It's my larval stage. I'm sorry.
Wait until she fully blacks out.
Seizure time.
Movement disorder? Question mark? Anyway.
Just saying. So you can set those boundaries in different ways, in different contexts.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely worth examining, like, what's important to you, and what things are going to deplete you.
Right.
Right? Because we can tolerate things that go against our values or hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, but if we do, we're, like, shaving little pieces of us off every time.
Yeah. Do you
and
think
that damages our value.
It's easier to set, like, physical boundaries and difficult to set up emotional boundaries?
I think yes, because, I mean, just thinking back and thinking about how kids are raised, physical boundaries are modeled, right? Those are always modeled.
Yeah, okay.
And very forefront in society, but it's not the same way for, like, emotional boundaries. It's not at all the same way, because we have this, like, idea that, like, I don't know, it's almost that, like, abuser excuse thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, oh, well, they didn't mean it and I forgave them right afterwards. And you're like,
right,
okay, but you deserve better than that regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And you have not set up any kind of boundary, and they're going to keep doing that thing because you've not set the boundary.
Yeah.
They could be like, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, or like, I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah, you made me do that.
Right. But they're going to keep doing it until you go, yeah, no, that was unacceptable. And I'm not doing that again. Like, end of story. That's it.
Yeah.
But what about enforcing those boundaries?
Don't ask me, man. I am the most malleable person that ever was. No, I'm sure there are boundaries I set. Like, I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, like, if it's like testing the waters, really.
Okay.
You know, like, 1 time is an accident, 2 times is a mistake, 3 times and you're dead. The 3rd time I've endured you, I have endured too much, and I will snap.
That's kind of what happened at work. Where I was like, I am so quiet and so easygoing and so flexible, and now I'm done. I am now finished. That's it. You're cut off.
Yeah. But I mean, in context of what we just said, that was you finding out that that's unacceptable behavior that you didn't expect to have to say is unacceptable.
Right. Well, and it was one of those things that, like, immediately I was like, I did not deserve that.
Right.
Which is a huge progress, by the way, for either of us to be able to be like, I did not deserve what happened.
Right.
Like, what somebody else did was not a reflection of me or what I did, and I didn't deserve them taking their emotional crap out on me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. Was like, you can't control yourself, and you are lashing out, and I did not deserve to be lashed out at.
Right.
So, also
you fucked
unacceptable.
With the wrong woman.
Yeah. Also unacceptable environment for that. So.
So our motto is the Scott national motto.
What?
Fuck around and find out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Just so you know.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't know.
Until we're done.
Once we hit the point, we'll know, and then you'll know.
Yep. That's kind of how it goes, huh? Because we're like, yeah, tolerate, done.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately done. No warning, done.
And that's when I set boundaries. When I'm like, okay, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've really got to drive it home. But once it's there, it's
right
on the list of not acceptable behaviors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly it.
And it's easy to, I think, blame yourself. You know what I mean? In that situation, to be like, I let it go on for too long, and then I overreacted, and then you kind of don't enforce it because you feel bad about having set the boundary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in a way, because then you feel... and it goes back to that, like... I don't know, that, like, childhood thing of, like, displays of emotion are unacceptable.
Right.
Right? And so we feel badly that we've, like, put the hammer down, right?
Yeah.
But I think there are times where, like, if people are not catching up with the social cues,
yeah,
we got to be more explicit.
Well,
and it's not going to be pretty all the time.
Yeah, you might want to blame yourself, but it's allowed to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's okay to have boundaries.
Right.
I have a lot of fucking Starbucks over here, by the way. Right off camera. You can't see the collection.
Sorry, I'm trying to, like, clear out all that crap from yesterday.
Yeah, no joke.
Yesterday, I thought I was sick. And
Me too.
Today, I feel much better. And I'm like, oh, wow. Maybe it was just MCAS.
I'm dying physically, but it's fine.
I know. I'm like, I'm turning myself into a knot over here. So I don't feel good, but I don't feel ill anymore, which is nice. But, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, it's not even like I, like, had a crazy emotional display, but I made it very clear that I was not putting up with any more of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm done. This is why I'm done. I did not deserve that. Therefore, I am done.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to lash out at the other person.
Well, and even if you feel like you lashed out, you might not have. It isn't as severe as you're making it seem.
Right.
What I'm saying is I don't want you to configure the whole new word. Conflate. Yeah, there we go. Shame with boundaries.
Yes.
Like, if you found a boundary, you should enforce it, even if you felt bad the way you presented it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just because you were emotional at the time doesn't mean that you were unreasonable.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you were, like, acting out for no reason. Like, don't let people gaslight you just because you were emotional at the time.
Right. Like,
you're allowed to be emotional.
How likely is it that you're going to get gaslit? You think you're going to go back and then be like,
for this, I will be fine.
She blew up out of nowhere. She shot me in the head twice. It was unacceptable behavior.
I do not think that they will try for this one because I made it very clear that I was done.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to try for this one. I think that the hammer will come down on the other person, and then they'll be like, let's have a restorative. And I'll be like, no, thank you. Earn my trust back, maybe.
Restorative. I hate that.
I just hate that it's misused. It just drives me crazy. I'm like, stop using buzzwords if you don't know what they mean.
Right. Well, because even I don't work there. I don't deal with this, but I know that restorative is not what that means. That's a make me feel better, please.
Yes.
Please make me feel better. Yes. I feel bad.
Please put your emotions away and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Together.
Just shut up.
Shut up together.
Just
both of you, shut up.
Everybody who was involved, shut up, please.
Just shut up. The end. That's how that goes.
Hope someone's watching this.
This is gonna be my boundary from now on. Just shut up.
Shut up.
Shut.
Shh. Everybody just shut up.
If you are not a child
Time for a restorative. Shut up.
or a teacher, just shut
We're
up.
restoring neutral. Shut up.
Admin, you're no longer allowed to talk to me.
Oh my god. Let's see how well that flies.
That's a boundary I'm setting. No, that would be really funny.
What is that?
Be like, I need you to like write me notes. That's it. That's all I need.
Why do I feel tired?
Love letters. I think because it's warm now, and now there's gonna be more hell to come. Because I'm trying to.
Transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like. Fold
Yeah, I'm
myself
feeling
up.
it. I'm feeling it hard.
Higa herger.
Higa herger. You know, we probably have enough.
I think so.
We could end it here. I feel like we've talked about the important parts.
Yeah. So, moral of the story: set boundaries. Stand by your boundaries.
Yeah.
You are entitled to your boundaries. If something makes you uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable, and that's okay. And you don't have to change you to deal with somebody else's bad behavior.
Right.
And
That is a
usually-
weird norm.
Yeah. And usually if they care about you, they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. I'm going to do something different.
Yeah.
So I think the scary part is, sorry, last thing. The scary part is feeling like if you set a boundary, they would leave.
Right.
And you want them in your life, even though they might not care about you that much.
Right. It would suck to find out that they don't care, but at
Right.
the same time, they don't care about you, so
Yeah.
they're not worth investing your time.
I mean, it's a scary
At this point, at
prospect,
least.
but again, you deserve better.
Because,
So,
like, people are mercurial anyways.
yes.
They may not care at that moment, but maybe you guys become good friends later.
Yeah.
You go out for beers, and then you hash it all out, and then they
Get married.
do care. And then, yeah, you get married, and then you get a divorce because it was not thought out. But then after the divorce, you become good friends, and, like, you do it for the kids. But then in your late 80s, you guys really hit it off, and then you end up at the same nursing home.
So
Wink.
set boundaries.
Set those boundaries, people.
And then Hallmark will come to you.
Hallmark this.
No. Okay, it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I found my
Okay.
boundary.
There you go. That's the limit. Hallmark. That's it. Nope. No
Nope.
Hallmark. Hallmark. No Apple.
Not here.
Those are the boundaries.
Never.
Okay, my loves. Thank you so much for coming along. Please make sure you check out our website. Also, leave us a like. Give it a share if you thought this was valuable or interesting, or someone else could benefit from it.
Mhm. Join the Discord.
Yes.
Join the Discord in the Discord.
In the
There's
Discord.
discourse in the Discord.
Yes.
Well, I mean, usually we're just talking about the episodes and
Yeah.
everyone's sharing anecdotes. But, you know, it's fine.
Join our Friday Night Lives.
Yeah. I feel like people feel pressured to participate, but you can just listen to the lives.
Yeah, you can hang out because we're doing this
Yeah.
all the time.
It's literally just the podcast uncensored
Yes.
and then planning for the actual podcast.
Exactly. So if you have like episode ideas, we definitely take those into consideration.
Mhm. Absolutely.
For sure. All right. I think we got it all.
Yeah.
Our producer was upset because we shilled badly.
So let me shill officially, and I won't take it back. We have a donation. You can donate to us at paypal.me/fantasticpains. I'll put it on the screen. And, you know, send us coffee money. Not real money. Not like heavy money.
Not real money.
Send
Monopoly
us,
money?
Yeah, send us 50
to our
Monopoly
P.O.
dollars.
box.
Can you donate Monopoly currency? I'm pretty sure you can. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We're going to make a new community and we'll use Monopoly money only.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
And I'll throw
There
it
you
into a fan. Anyways, that's it for us today.
Ruin the economy.
Remember to be kind to others.
Be kind to yourself. And we will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.